Okay, give me just a second longer. Oh. And okay. Oh. Still fighting. I've got the webcam working. Yay! Okay, that's. This is a pain. This is serious pain. Okay. Oh. Go figure. You little crazy. I'm gonna put you down on the floor. I'm gonna put you down on the floor. Down you go. And I am not quite ready to sculpt yet. I actually have to start all the daggone little programs and stuff. Oh, this is not fun. And okay, good. Some of these things that are doing lost most of the little quality of life, little tweaks that I've done. It's annoying. And okay, I think I've got everything. I oh, among other things, my camera is acting like garbage right now. I can't. Almost all of the auto settings are gone. You know, like auto brightness to keep this from glaring me out. I can't zoom in and out so that this is no longer in frame. It's really, really annoying. That's why I'm like bright yellow and glowing right now. It's ridiculous. I have to try. Let's try this. Sorry. Turn that off. Okay, that's a good bit more. I'm still very, very. Let's try. Okay. It's still trying. And okay. Now, you want to know what's really fun? The simple fact that I haven't actually sculpted anything since I got the new computer. I also had to turn the microphone to face me. Yeah, he is. Anyway, meh. Tonight's going to be the first time I've actually picked up my Wacom since I got the new computer. I can only hope I remembered everything. So what do we want to do tonight, huh? What we got to do tonight, Brian? Hmm? I don't have my little grid ready. Oh, you got no idea, Mark. I mean, I have yet to be able to make my camera make me look like a living human being. And I can't afford a $200 webcam or some garbage like that. So yeah. Well, anyway, anyone have any suggestions for what I should sculpt tonight? Just generic suggestion. Simple is boring. Hmm. TJ, that's because ZBrush is not good for most. It's good for organic shapes. It's not so good for like a wagon or things like that. Um, Living forms are pretty much its best direction. Uh, well, Largash, that's something that would take a lot more than one show to make because that the just the desk and shelves behind him alone would be a full show, let alone the guy behind the counter. I might make something like that in the future, but especially as the first one, it's a lot of non-sculpt stuff for that, which means no testing out the ZBrush and the Wacom on the new computer. It's just mouse work in 3D Studio Max. Um, let's see. I know. I know what I'll do, and you'll see it as I do it. So we're going to first. Okay, let's close that. Nope, I'm doing something different. To be exact, let's start playing around with some of the settings here. Let's kind of blend in. That's good. Good starting point. Now, expand from selected. Whee! Alright, so Okay, and then 135. So now we go over here. I'm gonna make this Z scale about 115. Yeah. Now, actually, let's go ahead. Actually, let's go ahead and scale up the forearms in general and the shoulders in general. Whoops, that didn't work. Okay, now the neck. Okay, now what we're gonna do? Let's go ahead and make the head a little bit bigger. And in general, make him just straight up bigger. Just a wee bit, and I can Control D. Now let's see how big I've made him. Alright. That would be almost 8 feet. We want him closer to about 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 feet tall. And then we're going to make him more muscular now. Yeah. What do you think? Is he broad enough? Actually, let's go ahead and remove all of the catfold shape. Add in a bit more that just to warp the yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. There we go. Now, this is going to be just a generic alien with a couple weirdisms involved. Okay, so First things first is pose. We're gonna bend that abdomen back so it's more upright than the reptile. We're also going to see what happens when I make his torso not so smooth. Yeah, there we go. We can reduce the muscularity a bit. The muscularity! Reduce the hulking. There. He's still a massive 8-foot tall monstrosity. Let's reduce the muscular all the way and increase the hulk. No, we need the muscular. Okay, yeah. Now, we're going to pose him. Okay. Okay, yeah. I'm just kind of put him into a bit of a walking pose. Okay. Control D to drop. Right view. Bend it up. Okay, now we're going to take and pin okay. Okay. Actually, let's do one other thing. The shoulders. Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay, this could be used as just some kind of generic strange beastie. This is mostly just sculpting something that's in my head for the sake of sculpting it. Okay. Alright, that is what our basic beastie pose will be. Now we're going to file, import, no, not 3D Max, meshes, bases, there we go. Let's make it, this metal plate one. Okay. Now we're gonna make it a size large base. And let's just, for the sake of making sure the details show up, let's make it a bit deeper. Okay, now we got a front view. And let's drag that down until it's there. Right view. And we can drag it forward a bit. Perspective view. Okay, so now we're going to do the spin, the random spin, just to make it look not quite so regular. Okay, this is going to be our alien. It's an alien, Mark. It's a strange, weird little alien. So, file, export. No. The storage 03119. 3D printing home, meshes, broadcast miniatures, new, alien. Gonna export wavefront OBJ. Hide that, make that visible. Alien base. Accept. And pop over to ZBrush. Now we're going to import. Storage 03109. Printing home, meshes, pre-sculpt, broadcast miniatures, new, alien body. Pull into place. And then subtool. Append. Import alien base. Meanwhile, I have to change this. No, not that one. No, I'm trying to find the map cap. No. That's a bit better. We're gonna hide the base and get to work. Okay, geometry subdivide. But we're gonna drop it down back to 1 just so I can do some shaping on the back. Which means it's time to play with Wacom and find out if it works. Guess what? Guess what? Well, you can't see it. There's a little light there that's on. It's not working. It's not working at all. Nope. It's not working. Yep. So I gotta figure out why it's not working. Yay. Anyway, so while we're waiting on Wacom, yeah. Yeah. Um, I'm gonna have to wait on doing anything more because from here on out, I have to restart the computer. So I figure instead I'll just, I don't know, do some Q&A right now like I was planning on Sunday, but nobody showed up. So, got any questions about sculpting, gaming, miniature companies, tabletop games, painting, anything? Well, I mean, I could go into a rant about tabletop war games and skirmish games of yesteryear that are no more. I could go into a rant about the cost of Games Workshop products. One to two session games during burnout sessions. I assume this means you get burned out in a given system and want to try something new just to get it out of your system and then go back to your main game and be like, alright, let's go. See, back in the 90s, that's what Magic the Gathering was for. It wasn't a game in and of itself. It was what you played while waiting for the rest of the players to show up and what you played between sessions. Okay. However, don't forget, there's always flux. And if you don't know what flux is, get ye to your gaming store and learn. See, the thing is, I'm not certain about a lot of the newer systems because I haven't played them. There's always Munchkin. If you've never played Munchkin, it's one part card game, one part making, taking the poking fun at your typical murder hobo campaign. You know, when you've got things like the plutonium dragon, etc. But as for older game systems, it kind of sounds funny, but the original TSR made back before TSR was owned by Hasbro and WizKids, Marvel Heroes role playing game was the fastest game to just roll up an entire party, it's, even if no one has ever played before but one person. It was like, okay, randomly roll what's your origin? Mutant, mutate, alien, robot, etc. And then you rolled up finding ability, agility, strength, endurance, reason, intuition, which is also perception, and psyche, your willpower. Then you rolled up number of powers, what were they, how strong, what talents you had, and your resources. And you could sacrifice ranks of resources to get another power or skill. And anyway, you literally can have the entire party rolled up in less than 20 minutes. The only major problem it had, admittedly, was it was entirely possible to roll up a party where the weakest character was roughly as powerful as Aunt May, the 90-year-old comic book version, not Aunt May Hotness from Homecoming, and the most powerful character makes Thor look weak. It's possible to just all up and down that power scale. The combat was bang, 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 bang. You didn't measure things in, it's 426 meters. No, it was areas, and areas were abstract. The average area was about 40 yards. 40 yards, which is roughly the size of a city block, in Manhattan at least. But they could be, if it's rough terrain, the areas are smaller. If it was broad, open, flat, they were much bigger. And most people moved 2 areas around. But you can get them all rolled up. Say you're a new superhero group in a world with no superheroes, or throw them into Marvel or whatever, and just go. So for one night, play superheroes. Get the Power Gamer fantasy out of your system, and then you go back to being those second level sloggers trying to get through the sewers of Waterdeep. Otherwise, there's, for non roleplay games, there's always, like I said, Munchkin. There's, right, Flux. The basic concept is, uh, number one, you have little green cards you've got to put down, and pink cards that show how you win. And if you have green cards that match what's on the pink card, you win. But you're also playing pink cards to replace what other people have played. and they're playing to replace what you've played, and they're playing green cards, and then there's blue cards, which are actions, like draw two and use them immediately. And then there's yellow cards that change the rules. Like normally it's draw one card, play one card. Then you can throw in like draw five cards, play two, but you can only have three cards in your hand and no more than two keepers, which is the green card on the bottom. And there's two potential win conditions out at a time. Yeah, and it just gets weird from there. And then like that Monty Python Flux, one of the cards, honest to God, if you speak in an accent used by a Monty Python character, or a funny accent in general, and maintain it throughout the game, you get to play an additional card. If at the start of your turn, there's another one. If you at the start of your turn you sing a line from a Monty Python song, you get to draw another card. But if it's one that nobody else has sung a line from yet, you get two. It's like if you start singing, "Always look on the bright side of life," etc. So Flux is wee out there weird. Isn't that right, little baby girl? Yeah. Anyway, of course, there's the cliche the modern classic, you know, Cards Against Humanity. Everyone plays that around midnight at a con. By the way, there will be the shows on Sunday might come. The 1 o'clock show might be late. I am going to be at a con this weekend. Okay, there's Exploding Kittens, where the goal of the game is to keep kittens from exploding. If these kittens get bored or lonely, they explode. And if they explode, you're out of the game. So you keep playing these cards to calm them down and neutralize them to not make them explode. Normally, if there's a game out there that has a lot of pre-generated characters you could play, like any variant of Marvel or DC-based role-playing games, that's a good one-shot. Yeah, I want to play Nightcrawler. Okay, well, I want to play Superman. No, a bit of a pirate spirity. Then there's games that should never be used as a one-shot. Never use Rollmaster as a one-shot. Honest. Never. Yeah. Rollmaster was also called Rulemaster, Chartmaster, etc., etc. Because there were charts for everything. Let's say you're going to roll to hit that bandit over there. Well, first you have to know exactly what kind of armor he's wearing, and what kind of weapon you're using. Oh, it's far worse. It makes Traveler look like twerps. Anyway, you then roll your percentage and add your weapon skill, which is usually modified by strength or whatever, and then you look down and you see how much damage you do, critical chance, etc., etc., and then if you happen to roll a critical, you then have to determine what type of critical. Is it piercing, slashing, crush? That's easy. Is it plasma? Is it acid? And then you roll, is it a super large creature? Is it a large creature? Is it a human-sized creature? Where did you hit them? And then you roll percentage, and you get things like your mace crushes your opponent's pelvis. He dies after 30 rounds of intense agony. Yes, 30 rounds of intense agony. Well, the reason I put that in there was because resurrection was the hardest thing to do, but the spells for healing weren't simple. You had to have flesh, blood, nerve, and bone. Healing spells were all different, and depending on what they took, what kind of critical, you had to use a different type of healing spell. Or multiple. Like that one with the pelvis, you had to do all four. Took at least 4 rounds to heal someone from that. It was just... I knew someone who took just the critical charts, photocopied them and put them into a binder. The stack of papers was that thick. Each weapon had a different chart from every other weapon. A Viking broadsword had a totally different chart from a nearly identical sword called a spatha that just happened to have a slightly different shape. Or more appropriately, had a little bit more iron in the steel. An arming sword and a nearly identical side sword had different charts. It was outrageous. An entire... If you had all the charts copied, you were looking at a stack about like that. You had an entire book that was nothing but weapon charts called Arms Law and Claw Law. What? What do you want? You know what? You're getting ready to go down on the floor. You hear me, Ralph? I can hear you purring, but no, you're going down on the floor. There you go. Go on. Ugh. Oh, it is. Now, the thing is, if you've got a game master who's very familiar with the system, it can go moderately fast. But almost any other system will be faster. It is the only system from the 70s and 80s that I know of where a first level character actually has a 1 in 10,000 chance when he fires an arrow of it going through the eye of a level 50 giant and killing it instantly. But that same chance is the chances for a kobold to fire a little dart at your god character and it goes through his eye and kills him instantly. I have not asked. I don't think I will. Because that would be gimme, 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 gimme. And I don't like being gimme, 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 gimme. On top of that, I don't have room to put into the printer. Alright. I kind of miss some tabletop war games. What are you wanting? Besides giving me kitty kisses. There's a couple tabletop war games I miss. I was thinking about this because, some of you may know Games Workshop stopped making Warhammer Fantasy Battle, which was their first product. Okay? It's the grandfather of Warhammer 40k. But they stopped making it, and they're making this thing called Age of 40k in Fantasy. I mean, Age of Sigmar, which is basically Warhammer 40k with fantasy trappings. It's horrible. At least the lore is horrible. And the figures look like Space Marines in fantasy. Anyway, there used to be a game put out by FASA. Now, FASA is probably best known for Battletech, which some of you PC gamers might know as the tabletop game that the MechWarrior franchise was based on. That still has constant legal issues surrounding the Forgotten. A bunch of mechs that were in the original edition that were licensed, but with questionable license, from Macross, Combat Armor Dugram, and Crusher Joe. In case you're wondering, the original Locust was from Crusher Joe. But this is things like the Warhammer, the Shadowhawk, the Archer, things like that. Largest work, I do not like doing that. I do not like calling out somebody's work that they felt proud enough to put on Thingiverse. I mean, there's really, it's just cruel, and there's no reason for it. If someone came to me with one of those, with the worst miniature, and asked how to improve, I would tell them. I feel that pointing out the worst miniature on Thingiverse is kind of bullying, and I don't like it. Anyway, FASM put out a game around the turn of the millennium called VOR. VOR. That's kind of an awkward R, but you get the picture. All capital letters, and basically it was a sci-fi game where interdimensional vortex sucks random planets from different universes, and they slowly circle down the drain until they get to the center, and so the people on these planets go world hopping to try to get to a world further away from the center of the vortex. And yes, Earth is one of those worlds that gets sucked in. Most difficult to print will vary tremendously. Um, I mean, with a resin printer, a lot of the more delicate figures are a lot easier to print. But I mean, I'd have a contender for that. I have yet to see someone with an FDM printer successfully print my Cloud of Daggers in my Spellifex 2 pack. It's just it no, it doesn't do well. Again, there's difficult and worse to print, and then there's ones that will print but will be fragile as all get out. The worst is very subjective, and again, I'm not comfortable doing anything with the word worst in it, especially since it's like, oh, look at them, look how many mistakes they're making, oh, how plebeian. I don't like it. The female dwarven monk. The one that's basically standing on her little uh, sash? Or do you mean the female dragonborn? Okay, yeah, the one that I currently have a painted version in my miniature case. Um, have you tried tilting her almost back onto her back? Because I'll confess. Oh, where is it? I know she's in here somewhere. Yeah, there she is. We're talking about this girl, right? My first thought would be that. Uh, I've seen successful FDM prints of her, but I couldn't tell you. There's a couple guys in Japan using a Sakura core cube Sakura that almost every time I put a mini up on Thingiverse, the next morning, poof, there it is. So, anyway, it's 9:10. I got nothing done because new computer blues strikes again. Forgetting to do the little things. Yay! Tomorrow night I got game. Thursday's show. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning are con. And that's where I'll be most of the weekend. I'll be home in time to do my afternoon show and my evening show, I hope. Yeah, I have an alien base with a purposeful stride, but I'm not sure what kind of outfit he's going to be wearing yet. I haven't had any details. Is he going to be scaly, wrinkly? Is it going to be hippo head? Is he going to be rhino head? Is he going to be reptile? Is he going to be flat faced? So I still got a lot of stuff. Anyway. Anyway, I am tired. And I've got stuff I gotta get rocking to. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my usual 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 bit and then go bye bye for the night. Sound good? Excuse me. Okay, so that's going to be a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, and a 1. I only hope it sculpts better. Bye bye.